welcome to another artistic adventure on Let Me Be. Today I'm going through another live to make a headpiece. I'm mannequin and it's a octopus. And through this live we will listen to the music and listen to the masterclass of how storytelling. So if you are art enthusiasm or if you love to seeing the process of making octopus headpiece, be with me through this live. This is Salman Rushdie Masterclass, Episode 1.
We are what one could call the storytelling animal. We are the only creature on the earth that does this unusual thing of telling each other stories in order to try and understand the kind of creature that we are. When a child is born, of course, the first thing the child requires is nourishment and safety and love. When those things are met, almost the next thing that the child asks for is tell me a story. Even when I was a young boy, I said I want to be a writer. I had no plan B. So it's been one of my great fortunes in life to be able to do the thing, which was the only thing I ever wanted to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Salman Rushdie.
Winner of this year's Booker Prize.
I will use hot glue to stick this foil to my headpiece. I teach you this headpiece or making masking base with paper towel and white glue in another live, and this is the next step. I'm gonna add more legs here with foil and then cover it with masking tape through the shape of octopus. So if you love craft or not, welcome to newcomers. Did you see me well or you see me blurry? This light is okay or not? I don't know. Say something. Okay, we will listen to Salman Rushdie Masterclass
Salman Rushdie was knighted today.
again.
Winner of the best of the Booker.
I've been doing this a long time. I published my first book in 1975, so I have a bit of a track record here, 20 books. I hope I've learned something along the way. If that can be communicated, then it's worth doing, because maybe it'll just give you some shortcuts, which I had to find out the hard way. A lot of the skill of the writer comes from your understanding of who you are and what you need to say to the world. I think my way of doing things is different from others because it draws on cultures from around the world, from my country of origin, which is India,
Hi.
through Britain to the United States. I spent my life in those three countries, and it gives me an international perspective, which I hope will be different than other people. I would say, whoever you are tuning in, you must be somebody for whom books are important. Many writers, I would say most writers.
Hi. Ik biliyorum. I don't know what the language is. It looks like Turkish, but I can speak in English and I can understand English. Who's writing in English? By the way, hi to newcomers. I think I should turn off this live, but is it better or not? My internet connection is a disaster. I know that. It's gonna be just like this. Yeah. Hi. All of you say hi. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and help me to get monetized. I'm an artist. I live in Iran and I need the support. I will go through live a lot and I will be making artworks. So if you love art or if you love artists, don't forget to subscribe. And like this live. You're watching already. Communicate with me. Did you know about octopus, old and ancient meaning and symbols? Yeah, they represent life and protection in old ancient culture and history. So I make a headpiece shaped like octopus because it represents protection, wiseness, and they have a big head. They can be live for years, and they live in a dark. They know lots of the things. So the wiseness in the octopus old symbols means a lot. Means a lot. So I love to call it a symbolic headpiece, symbolic variable, a story, and it's not just a sculpture. It's hold a meaning and a story. I want to sell them. One day I want to sell them. When they found their house. Because arts have to be with art lovers. They know how to treat them. Are you with me or not? Hi to newcomers. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm asking always for subscribe, like, and I want to communicate with all of you. It's gonna be long. Salman Rushdie Masterclass.
Are born out of readers. If you want to make that transition from one side of the page to the other, from being the reader to being the author, then maybe this will give you some signposts of how to make that journey. I'm really excited to be here to do this because I felt that I was being given the opportunity.
I'm at my studio. I'm making a headpiece. I'm from Iran. No, I'm from Iran. I'm an Iranian artist. Where are you from? All of you, where are you from? Türkiye? Çok teşekkür ederim. Teach me something Turkish. Zero text. Teach me zero text. Communicate with me. Hi, how are you? I don't gonna speak in Farsi. I'm gonna communicate in international language, English. But welcome to my live. Yes, yes. I present myself for international viewers. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your courage. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this live. Don't forget to support an artist and art. I'm an artist. You are here. We make friends. This is an octopus. Octopus headpiece. The picture is here. Look at my picture. I make an octopus. This kind of shape. To don't forget to like. It's gonna look like this from here. I'm gonna fix it on a mic. It's gonna look like this. Yeah. I love the shape of octopus on the face and head. I love to make a headpiece for myself and for other people. I make masks, as I showed you before. I make masks with green mirrors and yellow mirrors. What do you think? I love to make masks and headpiece like that was my Halloween. Oh my god.
something I've never done before, which is to talk about language, to talk about character, to talk about form, to talk about everything there is in the art of being a writer. I think the thing that I would just like to say is, first of all, a warning, and secondly, an encouragement. The warning is that it doesn't come easily. It took me 12 or 13 years of not being successful before I was at all successful. So you have to have a kind of absolute determination and drive that this is who you want to be, and to hold to that in spite of disappointments and reverses. So that's the warning. The joy is that when you do write something good, it's an incredible exhilaration. You know, you really feel that you have, first of all, done something for yourself. You've done the gift of self-expression. If you have managed to do that, then it makes you happy. It should make you proud. I hope it will make you proud. And the joy of the life of a writer, I think, is not to be underestimated. I'm Salman Rushdie, and this is my masterclass.
I love Salman Rushdie, by the way. I love his books. Do you know Salman Rushdie? All of you are here. Don't forget to like this live. Don't just stare at me. Make me monetize. Give me a subscribe. It's gonna help art and artists and making money from art.
I think this is at the heart of the whole of literature, which is the one thing that is the great constant is human nature. In whatever age, in whatever country, human beings are the same. We have the same longings, we have the same flaws, we have the same ambitions. And I think one of the reasons why we can read with pleasure literature written hundreds of years ago or written in a country that we have no idea about is because human nature.
For back side of octopus head, I use this measure of paper, then on a meal foil. Yeah. We need hot glue here. Did you see the thumbnail of this video? Did you like the headpiece on the thumbnail? I will make that headpiece 0 live. Just like this. This is the first layer of octopus. It's gonna be fixed, but through live, this is the head. وایسادی. Next step, I will tape all this part of octopus to make a surface for another layer, which is sometimes papier-mâché. Now it's paper towel, paper and wood glue or white glue. Say something. You like to listen to Salman Rushdie.
Nature is there. If the story feels truthful about human beings, then it speaks to us. If you're going to build a big car, you should put a big engine in it. And the big engine is what makes the car a pleasure. A big car with an inadequate engine is a kind of disappointment. So the engine for me has always been story. And so I've always tried to put that kind of vroom vroom factor, what drives the book, at the center of it, whatever else it may or may not be doing. Without conflict, it's hard to have drama. I mean, one of the things, famous lines about literature, the French writer Henri de Monterland said about happiness that it's almost impossible to write.
It's act like a drama. Oh my god, it's make my laptop dirty. Okay, I put it on the table.
To my mind, issues of rhythm are absolutely central to meaning. The way in which a sentence or a paragraph sounds helps to convey a meaning almost subliminally, sort of below consciousness. The reader gets it without quite knowing how they're getting it, because it is a kind of music. This is maybe the first time in my life that I've really, in a kind of extended way, tried to talk about the act of writing. In a way, this is a sort of creative writing course. And what has concerned me sometimes about creative writing courses is that they're very, very good at teaching craft skill, and not so good at individualizing the voices of the different writers, so that people can come out of a course having acquired a considerable amount of skill and an ability to write well, to write very well sometimes. But sometimes I feel this kind of sameness. Everybody coming out of the same class kind of in a way writes in the same way. And in the same way as when one talks about dialogue, the important thing is differentiation, to try and make sure that the characters speak in different ways. I mean, that's true of writers too. You don't want all writers to sound the same. So craft is great, and it gives you a foundation, which is a very important foundation. But you have to, at some point, move beyond that.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this live. Don't forget to make this channel monetize. Welcome to newcomers. Hello. I'm gonna cover the foil surface completely through head because I want to put paper on this part and paper towel in this parts. It's gonna be a sculpture on the head. Through live. So don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like.
is the manner in which you choose to adhere to or choose to break the rules of classical form. Voice is your touch as an author. It is what makes a piece of writing your own. These are imprecise terms. You could say that the style must be suited to the character and the story that you're telling. Whereas the voice...
This is a octopus. Did you saw the picture on the thumbnail? I'm gonna make a headpiece. Look like octopus. Don't forget to like. Welcome to newcomers. Do you like Salman Rushdie? Do you know Salman Rushdie? I don't think so. Are you art lover? Are you a storyteller? I was a storyteller since from child. I was a baby, and my cousins and my family child get to me and say, tell me a story, and I tell a story for them. So I love storytelling. That's because this sculpture have a story. It represents protection and wiseness and fertility. It's octopus. It has a big head. I'm gonna give it big head. The mind of octopus is in my head. On my head and in my head. Both of them are true. I love the symbolic sculptures. I made a lot. As you can see on the wall, I made a lot. Eye symbol. I made a elephant. I made a thought. I made a busted. I made an almond, Ra, Anubis. I made a lot. And I love symbols and I love meaning. So yeah, I'm making a headpiece. Do you like lives or you love videos? I love to be through live and making art. I'm interested to this. I don't like editing or anything. I'm gonna be like this for first time, making a sculpture shaped like octopus, but yes, I'm gonna be through live. What do you think about my octopus? Does it look like an octopus from yet? Yes, this is my octopus. It's gonna cover with paper towel and paper, also with glue. I'm gonna put glue again on the surface of this masking tape. Detail will add it in another live, but in this live I will put paper and glue on the surface of my and my camera is turning off and we don't have a video of this headpiece, but I will be zero live, so don't forget to subscribe and make me monetize, help me to get monetized, and yeah, make me live art. I put paper, paper strap on the surface. It's acts like paper mache, but in different shape. It's have a texture on it. Welcome, welcome to newcomers. Where are you from? Watching me from where? Where part of this world? Oh my god. It's gonna look like great. I'm gonna use big size papers. Don't forget to like this live. You are here with me through an artistic experience. I use white glue and paper to make a headpiece. It's easy, you can do it by yourself in your house and make your own headpiece shaped like octopus, which is very meaningful and great. We listen to Salman Rushdie again.
Is somehow you. Is somehow you. It's the thing that is there in whatever you write. You know, that you should be able, and we are able in good writers to see their voice in whatever they write. There are a few writers who seem to know from the very beginning something about their voice, and there are others who you can see working their way towards it. Doesn't really matter which, there's no, one is not better than the other as a way of proceeding. And I would say that what you should do with any piece of writing is to make the style decisions, is to say, what is it that will allow me most clearly and effectively to portray the characters and to tell the story. And if you do that properly, and you do that over and over again in story after story, then whatever it is that may in the end feel like your voice, that may feel like you as a writer, who you are as a writer, that will emerge. A writer with a unique literary voice is Franz Kafka. When you read a story like Metamorphosis, in which in the first sentence we discover that the main character has mysteriously been transformed into a giant insect. He's lying in his bed in his family apartment, but he's a bug, a human-sized bug. There's never an attempt to explain why this has happened. It simply is so. And even though the novel is the novella, the short story, is about the character's feelings about his own metamorphosis and how his family reacts to it, the emotion is kept very much at a distance. There's no attempt to draw cheap sympathy. It's very objective. And yet the result of it is one of the great stories of 20th century literature. And in his other books too, in the trial, at the very beginning of the trial, the character Joseph K. is arrested in his own apartment. Men arrive in his apartment and arrest him for he has no idea why. And in the whole book, nobody ever tells him why. And he is treated to successive indignities and dangers, and humiliations, without any attempt to draw us in and explain things to us. And his tone of voice is always distant. The reader is never allowed to be cozy with the author. And yet the result of that in his hands is to create these texts which are so unusual that they've given rise to a word, the Kafkaesque. We all recognize what the Kafkaesque is, the world according to Kafka, in which mysterious things happen for no reason, and your life can be forfeit without your ever knowing the reason why. Write in a way which doesn't have a warm, emotional, cozy feeling. That you're not inviting the reader in. You're saying, I'm sitting over here, you're sitting over there. I'm going to do the writing, you're going to do the reading. In a way, some of the most remarkable books have used that distancing technique. Languages have rules. So, grammar, spelling, punctuation, sentence structure, subject, verb, object, like that, in English anyway. And you have to know those rules. You don't necessarily have to keep them, but you have to know them, because what one might call style is what you decide to do about those rules, whether you decide to play by the rules, or whether you decide to bend or break them. And if so, why? For example, if you are writing in the first-person voice of a teenager, like, Catcher in the Rye, for example, if you're writing in the voice of a poorly educated person, then some of those rules may need to be ignored in order to effectively portray the voice of that person. So style is what you do in order to most effectively communicate what it is you're trying to say. First of all, you need to know the rules of the language. I mean, you really do need to know about grammar and syntax and sentence structure and paragraph structure. The paragraph is sort of the basic unit of prose, and it needs to have a little internal cohesion of its own. And when a new thought comes in, then you need to have a break in the paragraph. So yeah, it's very important to know those rules, even if then you decide to break them. There are wonderful examples of writers who more or less abandon paragraphing and present you with a long unbroken text. For example, in Gabriel Garcia Marquez's novel The Autumn of the Patriarch, he suggests to us, as the readers, he suggests that the dictator, the patriarch, whose rule is stifling and absolute, somehow stops time from moving. That nothing changes, everything's always the same. And the fact that the book is written in these very, very long, unbroken sections is in a way of saying here is a kind of stagnation. Nothing is moving forward. The world is just stopped like this. And the long sentences and the unbroken paragraphs, in a way, give you that feeling. So he is breaking the rule, but he's doing it in order to communicate something. So every decision in writing needs to be, you need to know why you're doing it. I mean, read Strunk and White. Their book, The Elements of Style, is a very good start. When you feel confident at the use of classical style, then you can ask yourself from project to project, from book to book, from scene to scene almost, if that's the best way of doing it, or if some deviation from classical style will actually help the reader's understanding. I think the main thing that I would say about developing a prose style is don't think about it as being about you. Think about it as being about what you're writing. If you think it's about you, then ego intrudes, and it can actually get in the way. If what you do is focus on thinking about what is the most effective and powerful way of telling the story you've set out to tell, the rest will take care of itself. In terms of exercises, I think all you can do is to say, give yourself a task of saying, if I want to write a love scene, what is the best language for doing that? And you might initially think that the best language for doing that is something lyrical, something in which the emotion is very evident and on the surface, because you're trying to talk about two people who are falling in love. That might not be the case. It might be that actually to take a little step back and to write a little more dispassionately about it would actually have a very
I'm going to use a paper towel at the surface of legs, because it's going to make the legs smoother, and I can change the shape of them easier when it's in the middle of drawing. So for head, maybe I add a paper towel, maybe not, but for legs I add a layer of paper towel, cheap kind, on the surface. I show you. Can you see from here? Yeah. should working like this. Maybe I give my octopus leg shapes like this. Do you like Salman Rushdie or not? Maybe we should listen to some music. I taste all of you. It's free copyright chill lo-fi type beats. By the way, legs look like these. I should cover this with paper too. It's gonna look like this. Music is on YouTube, so we have pause because the internet issues in Iran you're familiar with. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this live. Say something about my octopus. Write your opinion. Say something. Do you like the thumbnail picture of my octopus? Does it look like the thumbnail picture? You've been with me from beginning or not? I love the attention you give me because you are my subscriber from now on. Did you subscribe me and watching or just watching? It's paper towel and white glue. I put it on the leg and in the face. I don't tape the legs with masking tape. It's easier with paper towel and white glue, and it's a stick to bare foil. Just like this, you can see. Like this, yeah. Better. And like this, I cover the surface of foil with paper and paper towel. Did you see me very well or not? Do you see me blurry? The quality is bad or not? Give me a like. All of you just watching, please like this live, support an artist, support art. Don't just watching. Oh my God. I like to listen to the music, but internet connection is fucked up. Sorry for my words, but yes, in Iran we have internet issues like this, and I don't know why. Don't support me from my YouTube, all of you. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like this live, Don't forget to help me, make me monetize. I will go through a lot, and I want to get to know all of you. Octopus hands, maybe shapes like these or these, but I will fix it on a mannequin. From now I made it here on my table. In the middle of drawing, I changed the shape of hands. Where are you from? All of you. Where are you from? Communicate with me. Listen to Salman Rushdie again.
Interesting effect, in a way, to write against the grain of what you're trying to write about. You can try it both ways. Try writing it as a very emotional passage, and then try writing about it very unemotionally. Same event, same thing happening, and see which works better for you. It can sometimes be very effective not to write about it in the most obvious way. This is a passage from the Moors La Salle, in which the narrator is talking about a kind of profound moment, really, that in which he's not present, but the first moment at which his mother and father made love to each other. After they had met, and I found myself wondering, how would one do that? How would one talk about something as, in a way, forbidden as that? And it led me into a kind of wider thought that one of the hardest things to write about is sex, because it can be so crass, when written about, and as it were, the gymnastic elements of sex, can be the ones that just, if you write them out, they seem absurd. And so what I thought I'd do is to give that awkwardness, that embarrassment about writing about it, to the narrator, who's writing, after all, about his parents, and he doesn't know quite how to do it. So he does it by not doing it. He does it by leaving things out. I mean, in a way, I think it is quite lyrical. It's sort of comic lyrical, but with the emphasis on comic. Way up there, near the roof of Go Down Number 1, Aurora da Gama, at the age of 15, lay back on pepper sacks, breathed in the hot, spice-laden air, and waited for Abraham. He came to her as a man goes to his doom, trembling but resolute. And it's around here that my words run out. So you will not learn from me the bloody details of what happened when she, and then he, and then they, and after that she, and at which he, and in response to that she, and with that, and in addition, and for a while, and then for a long time, and quietly and noisily, and at the end of their endurance, and at last, and after that, until, phew, boy, over and done with. So it was just a way of writing about sex while leaving all of it out. And I thought that might be the kind of embarrassed, awkward way in which the character would face such a moment. To be in charge of language, to have a command of language, means that it works for you, you don't work for it. There's an enormous spectrum here, because there are writers who deliberately use a very large vocabulary, and feel that they need that. Vladimir Nabokov is a writer like that. On almost every page of Nabokov, there are words that you have to scratch your head about. His style is slightly show-offy, and he likes to display his erudition. There are other writers whose writing comes from a much smaller group of words, but which serve their purpose very well. Dr. Seuss decided to write everything he ever wrote in what in those days was called Basic English, which was a very small vocabulary that people needed to know in order to be able to communicate in English. And all his books, the colossal success of these books is because they're written in this ultra simple language. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. There's no long words, there's no complicated ideas, but there's a kind of brilliant musical use of very simple language. To me, the rhythm of a language is the rhythm of a sentence is very important, and I do spend a long time on that. Sometimes I'll change the order of words if that lends a better musicality to the sentence. Add a word sometimes, or subtract a word, if that improves the music that I'm hearing in my inner ear, so to speak. And to my mind, issues of rhythm are absolutely central to meaning. That the way in which a sentence or a paragraph sounds helps to convey a meaning almost subliminally, sort of below consciousness. The reader gets it without quite knowing how they're getting it, one way of doing this is to try reading what you've written aloud and listen to it, see if it sounds nice, and if it doesn't, see what you can do to kind of even it out and to give it some rhythmic quality, because it is a kind of music. I want to read you a passage from the Satanic Verses that makes use of musicality in its language. Jibreel, when he submits to the inevitable, when he slides heavy-lidded towards visions of his angeling, passes his loving mother, who has a different name for him. Shaitan, she calls him, just like Shaitan, same to same, because he has been
Listen to
fooling around
Salman
with the tickets to
Rushdie.
be carried into the city for the office
It
workers'
tells a
lunch.
story,
Mischievous imp,
like my
she slices
headpiece.
the air with her hands. Rascal has been putting Muslim meat compartments into Hindu non-veg tiffin carriers. Customers are up in arms. Little devil, she scolds, but then folds him in her arms. My little farishta, boys will be boys. Then he falls past her into sleep, growing bigger as he falls, and the falling begins to feel like flight. His mother's voice wafts distantly up to him. Look how you grew. Enormous. Bah, bah, applause. He is gigantic, wingless, standing with his feet upon the horizon and his arms around the sun. Now, I wanted to, in this moment, I wanted to evoke somebody falling into a dreamlike
Look at
visionary
my octopus.
state, because this is where we begin to see the extent of Jibreel's descent into a kind of insanity, and I wanted it to feel like that. I wanted it to feel like a descent, like a fall from sanity towards insanity. And one of the things that I studied when I was writing the book was how people who have talked about seeing visions talk about it, talk about them. Joan of Arc, St. John the Divine, all sorts of people who have had this kind of visionary experience. What does it sound like when they talk about it? And one of the things that I found was that it does feel like they're falling into something, into like another reality. And so that's what I wanted that moment to feel like, that he's falling out of the real world into another reality. First of all, it's a very long sentence. It's a sentence that could be broken into many sentences. Instead, it's just broken by commas. And in a way, the sentence is too long, and so the realities in the sentence begin to.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go because this is the end of the live. I made an octopus like this. I will put its and fix the legs for shape and looks, then let it dry. Love you all and see you in another artistic adventure. Bye. Hi again. My get out and I'm through a journey again, and I will end a sculpture by a little more.